Geek Dad Life presents Toy Geeks, a live toy talk show. Today we're going to talk about Mattel dropping a severe legal hammer on a few fantastic toy YouTubers. We're also going to talk about how we can support them and how we can try to hold these companies accountable for this poor response. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special lunch break edition of Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and the gentleman always with me on this journey of toy geekery is my good friend John. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Happy afternoon.
Happy afternoon. No, this is not the eyeliner Batman review. I was talking to John earlier. It's really hard to find or eyeshadow or whatever. So gonna film that tonight and hopefully be up Thursday. Screen Geeks tomorrow as always, but that's where we're gonna do it. But this news that dropped on the past couple days, kind of over the weekend into yesterday and today, of copyright strikes being thrown around like it's candy on Halloween, and really negatively affecting some toy YouTubers in a way and in a form or fashion that could really impact just about any person that does a toy review on YouTube. It's really upsetting. And so both John and I talked about it this morning, like, well, maybe we should come on and talk about it, kind of raise awareness of the situation that's going on, and maybe talk about how we can support these two channels as they're trying to go through the legal hoops that have now been given to them to try and, keep their content safe and their things that they've worked really hard to build online. So it's really I don't know, it's really upsetting just across the board. So before we get into that though, let's say hello to the chat. We've got people here, even if we just like drop a random afternoon show, we still have people here with us. Jason is here, as well as J Mac. Cobweb is here. Scott D, John Rhodes, Overman is here as well. Jack Lord, Free Reign, Smedberg, Evil Villain, Greg Martinez, iBrand3G, Phineas Bog, Scrat the Squirrel, Caveman Reviews, Mecha Manblade, Master of Motu, Dave, Scott D, I think I did already, Apple Berserk, from South Africa. Look at international today. Black Phoenix. Wait, it's not Sunday. Ryan Dole. YouTubers versus Mattel was not my 2022 bingo card. And Master of Motu. I was looking forward to Patman. It's gonna come. Don't worry. Let's see. Marvel Legends. It's very rude. I agree. Nick. What the F is Mattel thinking? I don't know. Soundwave 278. Marvel Legends UK, Map Room Gaming, Riley Bob, Sean 3000, Jason Woods, John Berger, Gary, Steven, Bernie Davis is here as well. Okay, let's dive into it. If you're clicking on this video like, what the heck are they talking about? Let's try to kind of set the scene. It's kind of been going, I think I first saw it maybe in the kind of the YHS group chat yesterday. I think it was posted. Maybe I saw on Pixel Dan's Twitter first. But two YouTubers, as well as just they also post on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. Collect Jurassic and Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, over the past week or so, got dinged on Instagram and on YouTube with kind of copyright strikes. And for those that don't know, there's different levels of like infringement or kind of slaps on the wrist that you can get on YouTube. So the copyright strike is the absolute worst, because if you get 3 of those, and I think in a rolling calendar year, your site can be pulled from YouTube. Period. The end. So everything. So like, just imagine this channel right here, Geek Dad Life. Everything would be gone, and it would not be around anymore. So copyright strikes are literally the most severe thing that can be done to a content creator. Now, there's less severe ones like a copyright, I don't know what they call it, infringement or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and And those are not that big of a deal most of the time. Like I've had them a few times. It's usually like if I do a trailer reaction or if I'm showing a clip from a thing and I put too much of a continuous clip in there. And basically they'll still let your video play. It's just you won't get any revenue from it and it'll just go to the copyright holder, which in most cases, that's fine. I don't care. Like it's like, I don't think really anybody gets into this for the money or gets rich off of it. And it's their trailer. So, you know, whatever, have at it. And then there's some where it's probably too much and they just block the video so you can't even post it. And then there's the copyright strike. And so it's crazy how some of these people are affected. And I see some people mentioning the Laura Legends video. She did a great job on that. So some of you may already know what's going on. But I think Andy's Dinosaur Reviews did a really good breakdown of like everything from his perspective. So you can see what the deal is. So this is what he said. So I haven't actually put up a post here. But last Friday, contacted by YouTube stating that I was being given a copyright strike with Mattel because numerous retail websites had released images and sold off figures for the upcoming Jurassic World Dominion line. And Mattel was not supposed to release these figures so early. So I guess an attempt to cover it up, they took out on all the YouTube channels, which is what's happened to both Classic Jurassic, Collect Jurassic, sorry, and
Collect Jurassic,
Dinosaur Reviews. So he got the one copyright strike. So then he took down every single video related to Jurassic World Dominion. But on so that was Friday. On the Monday, even though pulled the videos, Mattel still put 2 more copyright strikes on his channel or on the videos, even though they're pulled from the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that situation, once you hit 3, there's like this kind of 6-day period where you can try to negotiate it with the copyright holder and try to not have. But if you don't resolve in that mediation time, the channel's gone. It's just gone. So Andy's Dinosaur Reviews is still on YouTube right now. And even though it's not even Jurassic Park focus, it's anything dinosaur related.
Mm-hmm.
The entire channel could just disappear if it's not resolved in this window. And for whatever this reason is, whatever it is behind it, whether it's Universal pushing on Mattel to take this stuff down, it's a really weird way to go about it because these figures that he reviewed were available on a toy website that he purchased. This wasn't even like going on eBay and finding some leaked toy and then pulling it out. I think it's still up on, I think on ToyWiz, toystore.com.
Yeah, it was ToyWiz.
Bought it from there and then did a video review of it. And because of that, and because of if it's Universal or Mattel or whomever, whatever the chain of command here is, he's at risk of losing everything on his channel. And it's kind of nuts. And it kind of blows my mind. And the thing is, this could happen to this channel, right? Like I found those Fright Features figures like a year before they were released.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God it didn't happen, but Sony could have been like, oh, those aren't supposed to be released yet, so we're shutting you down. Like, where is the chain of responsibility here? Because it's not on the person, in my opinion, that went and bought a thing with his own money on a toy website that the thing is still up there on that website and then posted about it to share with people, and then coming out and coming down really hard on a toy YouTuber, which is only trying to share the passion and joy of their product. John, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah. I think the YouTuber, whoever is the smallest man on the totem pole, will take the brunt of all the heat because any site that's going to sell the toys, whether it be ToyWiz or anybody that's like Dorkside, any of these smaller retailers that are online vendors, they the way that I see it is the toy company still needs them in some way or another because they're going to get toys out there to the customers, probably more than Walmart or Target. They're not buying those numbers, but
Yeah.
it's a direct avenue for
Yeah.
Mattel to sell to another vendor to get to the customer.
Yep.
But the YouTuber who buys it and puts it out there, they're gonna get all the heat because, like you said, there's 6 days to resolve it, and chances are it's not going to get resolved because we don't have big money lawyers or anything like that. We're just nothing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how much promotions or you know uh just really essentially selling these for them. It's all free advertising for the companies. But when, Universal or Sony or whatever studio says to Mattel or whatever toy company and says, "Hey, you gotta do something. You gotta shut this down."
Mm-hmm.
And Mattel will say, "Well, the easiest thing to do is go after the smallest guy. It'll be easy. It'll be over in days."
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I see it. They
Yeah.
could go after the whoever provided the toys or
Yep.
even the images, because that's another
Mm-hmm.
problem. And they'll say, well, they'll be the ones with a slap on the wrist and say, well, we won't sell to you this wave.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on suspension.
Yep.
But whoever is the easiest one to go after will take all the heat.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is to me seems like and this happens a lot. Like, I worked for YouTube's parent company for 4 years,
Hmm.
about 4 years ago. I worked for Google. And a lot of times the different departments don't know what the other department is doing, right?
Hmm.
And so, I don't want to say like Mattel as a whole is this horrible company, yada yada yada. Like corporations are just groups of people trying to create something, and since it's groups of people, it's going to be flawed. Governments are groups of people trying to accomplish something. It's going to
Hmm.
be flawed. An individual person is not perfect, and they're not always going to get everything right. They are flawed. Like, so there's I'm not saying this to be like Mattel's the worst company in the history of the world, but this is not okay. And I think that needs to be called out because you're right. It's just taking it out on the easiest person to take it out on. You're
Hmm.
not going to take it out on the people that are selling the dang thing. It's still up right now. And maybe they are trying to get it pulled or whatever. And even as Ryan says here, I understand if Universal put the strike on it because it's their copyright.
Hmm.
No, it wasn't. It was Mattel.
Yeah,
It's
the
Mattel
the letter
created.
came from Mattel.
It did. And Collect Jurassic posted that on his Twitter. I think did I pull it up here? Here it is. So this is the exact type of letter you would get from YouTube in the situation. Due to copyright taken down notice that we received, we've taken down your video. It's issued by Mattel Inc. So they'll specify who did it. And
Hmm.
this means your video can no longer be played on YouTube, and you received a copyright strike. And and again, that's just the and if this is just the Mattel legal department, then we need to do what we can to make the PR department, the public relations department, the social media department fully aware that this is a heavy-handed approach when just doing blocking the video or ask, like, you could block the video without anything, but you can send them an email, you can contact them. This
Hmm.
is this is just an overreach or an overuse of power. And I also got to put the onus here on these social media companies, so like YouTube and Instagram, and they do this a lot. This is not a new thing. They'll just do whatever the corporation says, and they won't give that much support to the people that get dinged with these things. They don't.
Hmm.
Um, you can appeal and all that kind of stuff, but YouTube's like, it's not my problem. You figure it out with Mattel, and Mattel is a big company, and they can be like, I don't have time for this. I'm not going to deal with it, and they
Hmm.
don't care. It's no skin off their back, but it absolutely should be because these channels are fans of the product, and they're talking about it because they're fans of the product, and that's not okay.
Right. You know, do we know if either Collect Jurassic or Andy received the letter direct or received it via YouTube and Instagram? Like, was it forwarded to them through the
I
social
believe
medias?
I believe the communication came through the channels, right? So,
Okay.
um, so it is, as far as I know, and again, I'm not friends, nor do I know, nor have I been in contact with Andy or collect Jurassic. Um, and if they want to come in and talk about it, that's fine. But I also want to give them the space that, this is us speaking on their behalf, because they probably got a lot of
Right.
things they're trying to figure out right now.
Mhm.
And really, my hope is putting a light on this. Can now all of us in the toy community, and it's already being done. Lore Legends did the video today, which was fantastic. Pixel Dan has talked about it. But the more of us that can just like bring it up and to start adding and atting Mattel on social media channels saying this is not okay,
Mhm.
shines the light on it. Because
Yeah.
it could be a situation where they're testing the waters just to kind of see, what they can pull off with that. But it's silly. And it must be universal. Gary says here, it must be universal or ambulance influence. System intelligence going after users for their other properties. Yet, anyways, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And it's very easy to sit here and say on this channel, well, we don't really talk about Jurassic Park, so not our problem. We talk about potential toy spoilers. Like, we look at leaked lists and stuff like that, and
Right.
it's not, we're just talking about it. We're sharing the news and talking about it.
Mhm.
But if whoever runs Masters of the Universe is like, I don't like that, and just they could just throw a copyright strike willy-nilly and pull the channel.
Mhm.
There
Yeah.
there's so many things, because this is somebody that bought a toy off of a toy website and did a video review of it. Like, where's the line of that's
Mhm.
being crossed here? Just ask them to take it down.
Right. Yeah, what they really should have done is either sent an email or a direct message or, however they're gonna communicate rather than going through YouTube or through Instagram and just contact the creator directly and say, "Hey, you can't do this." Like, I don't wanna say have some respect because the movie's not out, nothing's officially leaked or shown yet, but there just should have been more direct communication.
Mhm.
And, obviously they're not gonna do that. They'll go just to YouTube because it's just gonna like you said, they're not gonna waste any more time than they have to. They're
Yeah.
not gonna take a personal approach to anybody. They're just gonna go to, you know, the name at the top of the screen, whoever's in charge there at YouTube and say, "Well, send them this. Take care of it."
Mhm. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
And,
Uh,
you know, and another thing is, um, when you mentioned, like, leaked photos or lists or anything like that, there's so much going on with, other YouTube creators or Instagram
mhm.
creators where they start to dig in, where you get a list of UPCs that have um, like everything is a secret name, like for Black Series or GI Joe
Mhm.
Classified, where a UPC the figures have a different name under all these codes, and there's so many like people trying to figure out, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does Viper mean Baroness? And
Mhm.
then they kind of decode everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those people are going to have to start to be very careful about that.
Yeah. And the thing is they shouldn't be. That's the frustrating thing. It's just like,
Right.
it's not our fault this stuff leaked. Like,
Hmm.
if you don't like the stuff leaking, fix the holes in your ship. Like,
Right.
it's not my
Yeah.
problem. It's not your problem. It's not any of these
Hmm.
other channels' problem. And again, like, it's nuts. And I do want to call it Ryan's comment here, because I think it's true. And this comes from somebody that has the knowledge, but major studios don't care about toy reviews and have teams that track down spoilers and leaks. If Universal wanted it taken down, it would have come straight from Universal. No middleman needed.
Hmm.
Um, and it's and so I think that's a problem. And even if the toy in question was a spoiler for the movie, the thing is, I think they've shown it. I've been kind of following the story. The dinosaur in question, the director of the film talked about.
Hmm.
Like, this is not a huge spoiler territory. So it's kind of, it's unreal, because it really feels like uh the whoever put these call outs, whether I really feel like this was a lack or a breach in communication or something, because in most cases people give way too much credit to organized companies, right?
Mhm.
and thinking it's some big evil overlord decision or Machiavellian response. I bet you it's maybe a new legal team at Mattel that hasn't really been in touch with anything, and they just want to like lay down the law however they're
Mhm.
doing it. But they're not thinking of the whole picture here that I'm sure the PR people at Mattel care about. And so to me, I think is like what can we do about it? We need to keep letting them know that this isn't okay, because I'll tell you what this does for me. Not that I do a lot of Jurassic Park reviews, but I'm just like, I'm just not going to talk about it, because why would I put myself in this situation?
Mhm.
Like, you want people to be talking about this movie and this product, and all you're doing, all this does, and I'm sure Universal understands it, is this hurts your brand. This hurts the fan response to something.
Mhm.
Like, this is a overreach that no sane company, I think, would go about doing, because nobody wants this level of bad press. Like, if I was Universal, if I was Colin Trevorrow, if I was the people producing this thing, I wouldn't want this to happen. Like, why would you want this negative press around it?
No. No. I mean, us as collectors and in this community where it's a small group of people, but with a loud voice,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, there's thousands and thousands of hours of us talking, just toy people on YouTube, just talking, and that's it. And we're mostly talking about buying toys.
Yes.
Why do you want to hurt that at all?
And again, that's where it's like you can think it's like, capitalist overlords or whatever, but it's just like they're hurting the whole capitalist system, which is like trying to get people to buy crap. Like,
Right.
so this is clearly it's not connected to
Mm-mm.
the problems with capitalism if you have them or whatever like
This
that. But
this
like
this
this
is this is this is the you know, they're biting the hand that feeds them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And John Burge said, yeah, it's also on Toys if they broke the street date on it. But exactly, why? Where's the action on Toy Wiz here? And again, we don't know; they haven't said anything, but it's still up on the site for as far as I've heard.
Mhm.
Um, so why is Mattel trying to stop that? It's really, once the leak happens, it's just like, okay, that's on us for letting it leak. It's not our fault. And so now you're gonna overreach and try to like ban people's YouTube pages because they posted it.
It's crazy. It is cr
It
it's
blows my mind. What is the toy in question? I don't even want to say it because, like, it's like Voldemort. If I say it, do I get taken down? But
a dinosaur.
it's a dinosaur.
Yep.
Maybe a Velociraptor hybrid with a T-Rex and a Mosasaur. Um, probably. So this is what people on Twitter are using. The hashtag they're using is hashtag I stand with collect Jurassic, as well as I stand with Andy's dinosaur reviews. But really, I think we need to at Mattel as best as possible. And I know, sure, the social media departments may be run by interns or whatever, but if enough noise is made, and people see it, I've worked for customer service departments for these big companies. If there's enough noise being made, it will be pinged, and the people that care about public perception at Mattel are going to go to legal and be like, "What the heck are you guys doing?"
Mhm.
And really, I think that's what we need to do, because I'm not going to sit here and say that Mattel's this evil overlord company. They're a company full of people. People make mistakes. This legal team, I think, has clearly made a mistake. And then we need to, as a toy community, be vocal enough to say, this is a mistake. This isn't okay. And you need to dial it back, because and whoever this legal team is needs to understand how severe a copyright strike is. And YouTube, and I think Nick Dillinger said out here, Rick Beato, one of my favorite music YouTubers. He's done a lot of really good videos about it. But, and again, until we start holding these social media companies accountable, like nothing's going to change on those systems. But the fact that this company can kind of just throw a copyright strike willy-nilly, YouTube would just be like, okay, and do it. And then kind of just be like, all right, we did our job, and not do anything for the content producers, I think is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, somebody at YouTube should have watched it and said, or maybe they did, and said, well, they really didn't do anything wrong. Because, let's backtrack it and see, they bought something from a store, you know,
Yeah.
legally. Like
Yes.
there was no,
It was in a black market.
yeah, it wasn't black
totally.
market. They didn't slip it out the back door, in the alley to anybody. He bought something, paid for it, showed up in the mail. There it is.
Yeah.
You gotta go backwards.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
it's
And so yeah, I think JMT says it well here. NBC Sports went after Leslie Jones on Olympic tweets Friday, told her stop. Reaction was bad, and they went back and said that she was doing fine. Public reaction works. And it totally does. It totally does. And this is where it's important to choose our battles accordingly, right there. I think there's sometimes where it's like, really, are we gonna like this is the hill we're gonna die on,
right.
But in this case, and we need to be civil about it, right? We don't need to be like, Mattel, you effing suck, or Mattel's the worst, you guys should all burn in hell, whatever. Like that, you don't need to do that. You just need to state the facts that this is an overreach. This isn't okay. We feel like we don't even want to buy these products because of this response. And you need to go back and you need to right the wrong. You need to right this wrong.
I'm hoping that Scott Knightlick does something on this. I'd like to hear his input on this. Being from Mattel, maybe knows something about copyrights there or how they handle that stuff. Or like you said, maybe there's a new legal team and they just started throwing the hammer down.
The Formo toys getting pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, I think, the best call of action. Again, it's the hashtags are I stand with Collect Jurassic and hashtag I stand with Andy's Dinosaurs Reviews. But really at Mattel on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever we need to do to be as vocal as possible. And that's why John and I wanted to do this video, to also use this platform to be as vocal as possible. That nobody's perfect. No company is perfect. We can love the stuff you make, like the Masters of the Universe stuff. And I think their Jurassic Park stuff is fantastic. But this is a mistake. This was an overreach. This was an abuse of power. And you were wrong, and you need to right this wrong with these two channels, because it's unacceptable.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because I like really any PR team, and I've worked for these companies, and the brand team, the people that run the brand team. If I know those conversations I've had with like the Google brand team and how strict they were about it, they would be furious if something like this was going on. This doesn't look good for Mattel.
No.
Mattel's a publicly traded company. That's all they care about at the end of the day is their stockholders. And if anything can affect that, bad press or a downturn in numbers, or just look at Facebook. Facebook lost users for the first time. Look at how that tech stock completely dropped.
Yep.
No, Riley, but I'm not trying to get out of the guideline of copyright. I had a tough time finding eyeshadow, but Colleen is getting it for me today, and we'll be applying it tonight. I'll be filming the video tonight. The video will go up on Thursday, I promise. And Adam Smedberg, this is a great call out. Pixel Dan, kind of following that thread, talked about how he got a strike from Mattel through Universal in 2020 when he was invited as press to their display, and that's where Pixel Dan was saying it may be Universal through Mattel. And I know that Ryan Dole is saying it's probably not that. Who knows? But only because he knew some people and was able to kind of get in contact with them was he able to kind of remove that strike. But that's Andy's Dinosaur Reviews clearly doesn't like have an internal connection to it, and so that's unacceptable. Yeah, Patman returns. Don't worry, it'll happen. I am a man of my word. Thursday, that video will drop by hook or by crook. And again, Mike, so it must be Universal. It seems to only be affecting the Jurassic Park stuff. But it could also be, these teams are kind of siloed within these toy companies, right? Like the Jurassic Park team is its own team. I actually met some Mattel people at Comic-Con a few years back, and it was the early days of the Jurassic line. I was like, oh, what you all are doing with Jurassic? And like, oh, that's great. That's not us, though. That's actually Matchbox within Mattel is leading that line. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So maybe this is a siloed effect where if everything's kind of within its own bubble here, then the Jurassic Park team at Mattel, whoever that is, they need to dial it back because it's not okay. Stephen Fox, WB is going to claim the eyeliner as a spoiler.
Well, we'll have to go after McFarlane for that.
So there you go. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to use the power of our voice through social media channels to tell Mattel this is not okay. Or if it's Universal too, Universal, this is an overreach. If you don't want the videos on there, you can block them. You don't need to use a copyright strike, especially for when somebody bought a toy and did a review on it on a publicly available toy store. It's not the person buying the toy's fault that you let one slip. And it feels like this is an overreach for a mistake that you all did. That the person that did this had nothing for. So if you want to support these channels, collect Jurassic. As far as I know, it's only one copyright strike on that channel. So I hopefully it stays as that and nothing else gets hit on it. I know he deactivated his website, which is unfortunate. I know his Instagram was deactivated. So I do on his Twitter today. He has said that he is in touch with people. So hopefully this can get resolved. And I hope the same can be true for Andy's dinosaur reviews, because he's in probably the most precarious situation from a YouTube perspective, that if Mattel does not get in touch with Andy or does not work with Andy on removing those copyright strikes, his channel will be removed. So my hope is over these next couple of days, the more we talk about it and the more we kind of vocalize our objections to what happened to Mattel, hopefully they can come up to an equitable resolution that doesn't mean that Andy's dinosaur reviews, which if you look on the channel, does a whole bunch of other things besides just Jurassic Park, let alone the specific movie that you're claiming copyright strike for, doesn't get disabled. John, final thoughts.
It's just bad on Mattel. Do something about it. They should have just said pull the video for now. Put it back up when everything is official, when everything is out there. Put it back up then, but they didn't.
And there's tools within YouTube to block a video. It's pretty easy. You don't even have to talk to them. You can just block it. It's like, okay, it's blocked. No big deal.
Yep. Shame on you, Mattel.
They hit the nuclear button for no reason. And I agree. It's not a good look. Once again, YouTubes are being used as scapegoats. Like, we're fans. Like, we love this stuff, and it's fun to talk about it. It's fun to share. I mean, that's what like being a fanatic, being a fan, being a geek is all about, is like sharing it with other people that have common interests as you. That's the whole point of these social media platforms. And all it does is helping your brand. We're not posting the movie claiming as our own. We're adding commentary to the things that you all are producing,
right,
which is perfectly legal. That is perfectly within copyright law.
You know how much money these toy companies are saving by not having to make commercials anymore?
Yes. And it's not like it's a labor of love for most of us. There's very few of us that can probably do this as a full-time job. Very few. And even then, the full-time job, you're not going to become a bajillionaire unless you're Ryan's Toys or something like that. Here you go. Stephen Fox, take down the video and we'll send you a $5 gift card for a future person. Exactly. 100% agree. And it's just not gonna look good. And again, I understand if you don't even want it on there, but just block the video. You don't need to do a copyright strike. That is an overreach. That is an overreach. So to the channels Collect Jurassic and Andy's dinosaur reviews, you have the full support of this channel. You have the full support of so many people in the toy community. And hopefully as we continue to shed light on this situation, hopefully the situation can get improved for you all, because this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. All right. What's coming up on the channel? Oh, go ahead, please, John.
Oh, I was going to say, what are we going to do Sunday? It's the Super Bowl.
We did the Super Bowl last year, Super Bowl Sunday.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine with me.
If we were smart, or if I had time to think about it, we should have done our 90s like showdown on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, that would have been great.
It would have been great. I just do not have the time to plan it all out, but we'll still be here. Usually the Super Bowl is done by 9ish anyway, but I plan to be here. It's almost Valentine's Day. Bummer. I did get my deluxe Ghostbusters set in today.
Nice.
So I guess I'll do a video review on it. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike for the review.
Yeah, we'll have to be walking on eggshells for a while.
Pulling for the Bengals. Yeah, I'm kind of I don't have a football team anymore, so I'd be fine with either. I love the underdog for the Bengals and all of that, so we'll see how it happens.
Super toy geeks.
He got the Ghostbusters Ultimate Collection. Where did he get that? I pre-ordered on Amazon way back when, and I guess these are going for like stupid money online. Maybe they've hopefully come down as more people get them. So I pre-ordered on Amazon, and it arrived today in a baggie.
Are you serious?
It was in a bag. Thank God the box wasn't damaged. But Colleen's like, "Oh yeah, this came for you," and it was just in one of those like little plastic bags. I was like, "What?"
Like the kind of bag they'd send a T-shirt in.
Yes,
that
like
is crazy.
And it was probably even thinner than the clothing bags.
But
thank God, like there's no dings or dents on the box. I don't know how that happened. But Ryan Dole, Mattel has been pulled from Jeffries due to channel safety concerns. Yeah, apparently this is across the board. Yeah, I can't believe they shipped it in a bag. Thank goodness. So I don't know how the heck it didn't get dinged, but there's no significant ding on the packaging. But watch, like, whenever I open it up, all the discs will be shattered. Oh my goodness.
Haven't some of the sets been showing up with incorrect discs?
I know. I'll have to like film it just to see. So we'll see how it plays out. I also need to get an Ultra HD player because I don't have one of those.
Does Xbox play Ultra HD?
I don't have an Xbox. I've got a Switch. I've got a Nintendo Switch. So hopefully they're not too expensive. So I need to get a player to play it, and hopefully they have the right discs inside. I've been a digital guy. I just buy digital usually, but I was like, I need this.
Yeah, I don't think I've bought a physical copy of anything in years.
Yeah, this is my first digital, like a physical copy of something in at least 5 or 6 years. I can't remember the last time I actually bought a physical disc. I think I bought like used Blu-rays or whatever for $1.
Yeah. I bought bootlegs. That was the last thing I bought, was a bootleg copy of Mr. Boogedy before it was available on Disney Plus.
But yeah, again, I know probably the disc might be wrong or whatever. I don't know, but
I hope not. I hope you got them. All.
Fingers crossed. All right. So again, do what you can to at Mattel and tell them that this isn't okay. It needs to be changed. Give your support to these two channels. I believe Andy's Dinosaur Reviews has set up a new channel. But my hope is it'll be resolved and it doesn't have to move to a new channel. And yeah, so everybody take care. Screen Geeks will be on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that last Boba Fett, the entire season of Book of Boba Fett, aka Mandalorian season 3. And then I will be doing my R. Pat's full eyeshadow and way too many jackets review of the Batmobile. And I've already done like the opening and the all my B-roll shots and everything for the video. And let me just tell you, this thing is awesome. Spoiler alert. I'm gonna give myself a copyright strike. Spoiler alert. This thing is, I freaking love it. I love this mobile.
Did you see the GCPD cruiser?
Yes,
that they came out with in the box set too.
Mm-hmm. It's Jeffrey Wright, right? That's gonna be Gordon.
I don't know his name. If I
love
seen
him.
I know who he is.
He's on Westworld and a bunch of stuff. Fantastic actor. I think I'm really excited about him for it. But yeah. So I will promise I'm not going to copyright strike myself for maybe spoiling my thoughts in that review. But oh man, this is a fun Batmobile. And that's all I'll say. Yes, hit that like button if you want to be notified when the latest episode of Geek Dad Life drops. Click the subscribe button and that bell icon. Like for these special midday toy geeks, you never know when one might drop. So always hit that bell icon so that you can be notified. Jeffrey Wright. Is Jeffrey right? Jeffrey?
Yes. Yeah, yes. Gary said yes.
Yes, Greg. Nothing will beat the 89 Batman. Let's be clear. I also did some shots comparing it to the 89 Batmobile Kenner car. So no one will ever think that, but it's a really good Batmobile. All right. Yes. Toy reviewers, stay strong. We are a strong community when we work together. So let's do our best to make sure that Mattel knows this isn't okay. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye.